Hi, I'm Cathy. This is my July reading journal and welcome to Luna Bird's Book Club. Okay, it is the 13th of July. I have completely finished one book, which was Northwoods by Daniel Mason. I returned it to the library, so I don't have the actual copy with me, but that was an excellent book. I absolutely loved it. It's the story of one house in the forest and mountains of Massachusetts. How do you say that? Massachusetts? If I say New England, does that cover it? Anyhow, American forest, mountains, a house, and it follows this house over 200 years, and all the people have lived on this patch of land, and there's like ghost stories and love stories, and it's all kind of interwoven and connected. It's gothic, it's creepy, it's beautiful. The prose was delicious, and the further into the book you go and the more these stories kind of layer on top of one another and reference one another, it was just absolutely beautiful. And it's made me now want to go on holiday there, because I'm convinced, this book's convinced me that this is a beautiful part of the world, and even though I can't pronounce it, I want to go and see it. So this book is now on my wish list to buy. It was a library book, so I've read it and returned it, but I need to go back and buy it because it was really, really good. Oh, and a lot of the stories in there were kind of told almost feel like found footage. So there was, there was diaries, there were letters, there were newspaper articles, and it all contributed to tell this one story of one place. And oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Absolutely loved it. I'm also very nearly at the end of Unruly by David Mitchell. I'm enjoying that, but I'll wait for me to finish before I dive into that. And then I have been to the library this week, and I have a stack full of books. So look, I have all these books to read this month, and I think I've chosen quite well. And you know what? I was in a rush because I did a food shop, and then whilst all my food was in the boot of my car, whilst we were having a heat wave, so this was a bit dicey, I thought, I've got time, I'm going to nip into the library. So I went to the library with the shopping still in the car, and I just proper flew around the bookshelves and picked stuff up very much on instinct. So let's have a look what I got. Okay, first of all, the reading list. All I know about this is that it's two strangers who kind of meet, and there's a reading list of 9 books on this list, and they decide to read through them, and some kind of connection, friendship, relationship blooms from that. And then I have The Rain Heron. I think this sounds like it's set in like a post-apocalyptic world or environment, and there's this girl kind of living off salvaging things in like a barren wasteland, and then the army come in and they're searching for a mythical, magical heron that can control the weather, and she's kind of roped into like being the army's guide. And then I've got Norse Myths and Legends. So I like reading myths and legends of different cultures, and I have never read one about Norse mythology. I've read books that are flirted around the edges of Norse mythology. A lot of Tolkien is inspired by elements of that. And I've read Celtic mythology and obviously British mythology, but yeah, and Greek. Read Greek mythology, but I've never read Norse, so I am intrigued to just read straight up what these myths and legends are instead of just getting snippets of them in other books. And then I have this one which I'm currently reading called The Wedding Dress. 3 love stories, 1 dress. I've just finished, like in the last hour, the first one of those 3 love stories, which was very captivating and ended at the perfect note with just a tiny bit of a twist that I wasn't expecting, which really made me smile at the end. So far this is very enjoyable. And I also have A Wedding in Provence. So I picked these 2 because I need to read a book with a wedding in it to win Book Girl Bingo, a game I'm playing with Rachel. And last time I got cocky and thought I had a book that fit the description, and I was completely wrong. So I've got 2 books that have wedding in the title to really like play it safe and make sure I read a book with a wedding in it this summer. I'm already safe because this one has a wedding in it. I've read the wedding scene. The wedding scene happened. I have ticked off that one really. And then lastly, fairy tale by Stephen King, which has been kind of on my wish list to read for quite some time. I really enjoy King's work, and this sounds like my cup of tea completely, but I just haven't got around to reading it. You know, it's been a couple of years since I read a Stephen King novel, and something about Stephen King and summertime reading go hand in hand for me. So yeah, I'm really chuffed with this stack of books, and I feel like I'm in for a very happy reading month. And this Sunday afternoon, I have nothing else that I need to be doing. Rob and Ola are off at birthday parties and gymnastics competitions. Rob's doing the parenting today. So I think I'm just going to hang out in the garden and read books and eat ice cream and move as little as possible. Hi, it is the 26th of July. I really can't remember what I filmed. Also, can I say I'm having a low maintenance, no makeup, shoves my hair in a bun kind of day, and this bit of hair is annoying me, but not enough for me to do anything about it. So we're going to live with it. I think for my last update, I told you that I read Northwoods, loved it, read Unruly, loved it, and that I was starting The Wedding Dress. And I have read 2 out of 3 out of the stories in here, and I really did enjoy the first 2, but as I started the third, I thought, I feel bored with this now, so I gave up on it. But the first 2 stories in this were really good and sweet, and it's been quite a while since I've just read a straightforward romance story, and I enjoyed it. I particularly liked the middle one because it was very unexpected. The concept was that this couple meet whilst trapped on a roller coaster that had just had an horrific accident. So it's kind of like a disaster scenario. So they're trapped on this roller coaster. They are both quite severely injured, and they form this intense friendship. And then the story kind of follows the aftermath and the recovery. Just never read anything like it before. Really interesting, really sweet. And then I got 2 or 3 pages into the third story and just felt like, actually, I've enjoyed my time in the romance world, but I'd had enough, so I didn't finish the book, but I actually quite liked it. So no shade to the book. I think it's a good book. I just felt satisfied by reading the first 2 stories and didn't feel like I needed to see it through to the end. Then I have floundered a little bit. I started reading Norse myths and legends, but there's something irking me about the writing style in this and the quality of the prose. Just something, for me, a little bit off with how it's been written. And I don't know if that's because, I want to say it's because like maybe they're working from translated fiction and they're sticking too far to a literal translation and it's coming across a bit weird. So some of the sentences are quite hard to follow, or just a bit, I don't know, they're not flowing for me, and I found that irritating. So let me see if I can find the example that made me put the book down. Okay, so there's this bit, for example. So Odin, Allfather, makes day and night in like the creation myth, and night and day each have a chariot with horses. And then it says this: as they rode across the sky, they gave rise to day and night. From night's horse, Hrimfaxi, the saliva dripping from his bit forms the dew. From day's horse, Skinfaxi, light streams forth from his mane. And I don't know if that brings it across, but for me that's clunky. From day's horse, Skinfaxi, light streams forth from his mane. And like, that does make sense, but it's weird to me that the word from is in that sentence twice, and it just doesn't flow. And I don't know if that's because they're trying to stick to the original, like to a really loyal translation, and that's why it's not flowing. But I feel like because I've never read a collection of Norse mythology before, I really want to be captivated by the stories, so I am going to want a bit of artistic flair in how they are told. And the other bit that kind of really made me roll my eyes in this was near the beginning, in the introduction, so we can't blame translation for this, and these are like Cambridge scholars who've written the book, so no excuse for English skills there. So at the beginning of the book, they're talking about the impact Norse mythology has on our modern day culture and how it's still like a thing that people are interested in. It's what I'd expect from an introduction. And then there's this paragraph. That there is such a widespread interest is demonstrated by the appearance of Norse mythological themes in popular culture. Films such as Thor 2011, Thor: The Dark World 2013, and the Avengers film featuring Thor (brackets, the latest being Avengers Age of Ultron 2015) demonstrate the enduring interest in reworkings of and spin-offs from Norse mythology. And I'm just like, what? You're using, that's the same example. I know it's like 3 or 4 movies, but you're using Thor from Marvel. And then in the next paragraph, it goes to explain, Thor's in the Marvel comics. And I mean, to me, that just seems a bit sloppy and lazy of like, yes, an example of Norse mythology being part of our culture is in the Marvel franchise with Thor. But that's just one example. You can't stretch him out to make 6 and go like, that proves he's really in there. Like you need 3 or 4 other examples of other cultural things going on that are using Norse mythology. And they're out there. American Gods is a huge example of that. So that sentence just struck me as a bit of like high school essay writing. I feel like I've been quite harsh there. Sorry. I feel like I'm being quite harsh there, but I want to read a book that's going to help me fall in love with Norse mythology, and it needs to be well written and zingy, and this wasn't it for me. I need a bit of artistic flair in there. So I gave up on that, and I picked up instead The Rain Heron, and I read the prologue and about 3 pages of the first chapter. And again, I've not clicked with the writing style. Not as badly as how I didn't click with that Norse mythology book, but it's just not gripped me. And it's taken me 2 or 3 days just to read the prologue and the opening chapter. So I've given up. Perhaps I haven't given this one a fair shot, but I think after like giving up on 2 books in a row, I'm in a bad reading mood now. So I have now picked up Stephen King's fairy tale. I've just read the first 10 pages in the last half hour, and I'm already very, very interested into what's going to happen next. I already know I get on well with King's writing style and his stories, and it's been quite a long time since I read a new King work, and I am looking forward to diving deeper into it. I'm also going to go on holiday very soon, and I think this will be a great book to read on the ferry. So I feel actually I'm probably going to sign off this vlog here so I can have all my holiday footage in the next vlog. Oh, and I forgot, I have also finished Fables, Sons of Empire. I read this last week, and then we reviewed it on the vlog with Rachel. A very good, solid Fables volume here. Very dramatic. It's a lot of setup for things to come that I had completely forgotten about. Bigby and Snow White's kids get up to adventures in this one, which I really, really enjoyed. So yeah, this was a solid, good read too. But yeah, I think that's it for my July reading. There's still a couple of days left in July, but I'll probably tack them on to my August journal. Northwoods was definitely the best book I read this month, and I want to buy my own copy. I loved it that much. I'm also listening to the book The Dragon Reborn, book 3 in the Wheel of Time, and I'm enjoying that very much. I am having a problem though when I am being very clumsy with my fingers and I keep accidentally skipping chapters and going back. And I realised today that in that, because I accidentally skipped a chapter and then tried to go back and ended up in the wrong place, and it's taken me ages to find where I was, somewhere along the lines, I've accidentally skipped over the part where Matt has a fight with Gavin. Gavin? It's not Gavin. Gwaine. What's his name? And Galad. Who's Gavin? There's no Gavin in Wheel of Time. Gwaine. Is it Gwaine? I am so bad with character names. Anyway, if you have read Wheel of Time, you will know that I have skipped over a massively big, brilliant scene where Matt has this fight with 2 princes in the tower. And I didn't realise I'd skipped it until I was reading a later scene, and Matt was saying like, oh, I can't just chance my luck again like I did fighting the princes. And I was like, what? You have fought the princes already? So I've accidentally skipped one of my favourite scenes in the book, and I need to go back and find it. But apart from that mishap with technology, I'm really enjoying reading The Dragon Reborn. I forget the title, but I am enjoying it. It's really, really good. So yeah, Northwoods was my favourite book this month. I'm enjoying the Dragon Reborn. I loved Unruly. I floundered a little bit trying to find something else to read, but now I feel like I'm set up to go into August and into my holidays by reading Stephen King. So yeah, that's it. I hope you've had a really good July. Thank you so much for reading this vlog. Rachel's reading journal will also be up soon, or is already up. I don't think we've worked out when exactly we're uploading this time, but keep an eye out for that. Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much. Bye. Who's Gavin? There's no Gavin in Wheel of Time. Gawain. Is it Gawain?